And I'm curious, like, about Release, because you told your story on the show, but we didn't really hear where, like, that ended and your foundation began and your how did you even when did you say, you know what, I am going to fully dedicate my life to this?
Great question. I think, well, first of all, just on one thing you said, you know, about the guy that kind of goes on the show to become like,
or girl, both, vice versa,
you know. And like for me,
yeah,
like it turns out for that person exactly the way it's supposed to, you know, like most of the time. And like, and if that's what they got to do to like make their next buck, like good for them.
Right.
You know, like, and I say, like, obviously, like I want people to be there like for the love and the story and like, but at the end of the day, like that's my point. Like you're going to get that. And I don't know, like I'm kind of okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I agree. If you're going to make money off that, go ahead and make your money and whatever. I
was just in a different, like, and that leads into like, I was just in a little bit of a different spot, you know, like where I had a company that was established and I've been, you know, working in addiction recovery for, you know, the majority of my sobriety. So basically I showed up in New York City and I was still working like my old job, like the, you know, the Cube Farm, like crazy, you know, smiling and like boiler room shit. And I got introduced to a couple guys, to your point, Rhea, from earlier, and it just like one thing led to another. So I got a job kind of working in the field and worked my way up at that company. And then after 5 years, I looked at my co-founder of Release, Justin Gerlin, who's also, you know, my best friend in life. I said, like, dude, we can do more. And so we got a call about this property up in Westchester County, which is whatever, 45 minutes north of here. And we bought this house almost like 4 years ago to the date, early May, and we haven't looked back. So we have a 17-bed program up there for men. So like, you know, people 18 and up coming out of rehab, they come live with us. Like I was just up there this morning. It's the best. It's my favorite place in the world. And then we have 2 properties here in the city, one for men, one for women. Women's on the Upper East Side, men's down in the West Village. So that's 40 beds, and then like me and Justin, we do a lot of like consultation work and interventions, and like I was just texting with someone now, like, can you do a house call tonight? You know, like that's like balancing that with kind of this whole like new relationship, and it's been a lot. And then as if I wasn't already busy enough, in early 2020 we started the Release Recovery Foundation, which, again, Justin and I like looked at each other and had this moment of like, all right, we're helping a bunch of rich people because that's who can afford our services. Let's try and give back to those who can't afford it. So we started that, and we've raised a bunch of money, and we have some people in treatment now getting help. And really, like, the whole goal there is just to raise money and put people into treatment that can't afford it. Like, not to bridge the middle gap for like the middle class, but like really like we want to help the people that otherwise are on the street.
Yeah, that's awesome. And where can people donate to that now?
Yeah, it's releaserecoveryfoundation.org. You know, there's definitely ways to donate. We're going to have a lot of things coming up this year. We have a golf outing in July, which will be cool. I'm running London and New York marathons. We'll have teams out for that.
Awesome.
You know, and we're just about like community. I'm sure I'm going to start doing some like group runs in the park and people can roll through. And it's not just like, for me, you know, my passion is like, it's not about just like being sober. Like that's to each his own, you know. And I just listened to actually Dax Shepard. He did Macklemore. Like they did a podcast. And like I really encourage anyone who's like curious about this whole thing to listen to it, because they kept it so real and they didn't put recovery in like this bullshit box that so many people do. Like it's like, we're just people that are like trying to do the best we can and like help some people. And sober to me is like, I don't do drugs and I don't drink. Like sober to someone else might mean something else, and that's okay. You know, that's not my business.
Whatever somebody wants to do is what they want to do.
Yeah. So I'm pumped. It's fun.
That's awesome. And you said, you know, obviously doing all of that and being in this new relationship, Tayshia's obviously doing her thing too. She hasn't been here as much. You guys are doing the distance thing. How has that been? Like, how do you guys stay connected?
I mean, like a lot of this.
You
know, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of phone calls, a lot of text messaging. You know, it's hard at times naturally, you know, because you know, if I'm on a heater and like I'm whatever busy doing whatever I'm doing for a couple of days and she's got the same thing going, it's like the relationship almost can like feel like it's not the priority, and I say that in the most like loving way, because
like it's on the back burner,
like you have a list of all these things to do, and like talk to Tayshia becomes like one of the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's not it is. There's so many other things going on, I guess. Is what I'm,
and I think that happens with all relationships, everybody, you know,
Yeah.
like we both have boyfriends and we're busy and we're running around and it's like, oh, forgot to text and see what's going on.
Right,
so
so trying to have grace with each other and like that's it, you know, but we're going to be, like I said, reconnected soon. And so I'm pumped about that, and it's all good. Good.
And exciting things this summer, and see what you guys are doing with release recovery is really awesome. Is there anything else you want to?
I'm trying to. I think that I think we covered it. I think that
I know. It's so weird because we talked about it so much during the show that I'm like almost forget everything that like I'm like.
No, I think
ended so well for you guys.
Yeah, it did. It ended really well for you guys, and I think we covered the cheating thing, which was my number one thing that I talked about. And also,
good now? We're
good on that. We're good on that now. But also, you talking about your addiction and rehab and stuff was a conversation we genuinely really loved, and we talked about it on the podcast. So like I said, I just thought that was like just admirable. Did I say that right? I feel like I stumbled over my word there. Admirable. Yes, exactly. But thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it.